what if we weren't so scared of what other people thought about us, or weren't afraid to be viewed as weak by other people? Because I feel like as humans, we put up a big shield of who we want to be perceived as, and when we're around people, we don't want to be viewed, we don't want to be vulnerable unless you're around a certain select few of people. And a lot of the times, like, it's kind of deemed as a bad thing to be vulnerable, and I think the kind of idea of vulnerability is like misunderstood. And vulnerability, like, I don't think it's a sign of weakness. I think being afraid of being seen as weak is, first of all, you're probably surrounding yourself with the wrong people. I think vulnerability is a way of accepting yourself, because I don't think it's being weak. I think it's acceptance. I think it's allowing yourself to understand you have some sort of weakness, but you've accepted it, you're aware of it, you're able to overcome that. And we're afraid, we hide them, and it goes deep down into our soul. We put on a big cloud where no one can see who we actually are, what we actually feel. And I think and then you go through the journey of life and you realize this through soul searching, or some people don't even realize it, and it takes even longer until we can finally just learn to accept ourselves for who we are. And by accepting yourself for who you are, it doesn't mean you just sit in one place. And if you're a bum, I'm not saying no one's a bum in their soul, right? Everyone's like, no one's a bum in their soul. It just may take the behaviors. Whoever's a bum or a loser, whatever you guys want to call, like the people who just goon all day and all that stuff, like, they're not actually like that. That's just how they've been programmed, or they've programmed themselves to be, right? So, like, accepting yourself isn't that. It's just accepting being that. Accepting yourself is like just actually understanding who you are, who you want to be, and just going after that, and like not deeming these negative things about yourself as negative. It's more of accepting the shortcomings but not focusing on them. Like, if you spent more of the time of the amount of energy you spent focused on your shortcomings and the negative things about yourself and you put that into improvement, you would improve tremendously more, or excessively more, because you're spending so much time focusing on the bad things about yourself. You're forgetting the good things about yourself, and the reason why you're focusing on the bad things about yourself is because you don't want to be viewed as weak. You don't want to be judged. That's another thing. Like, you're allowed to be vulnerable. Like, as a man especially, it's kind of stigmatized to be vulnerable. And why we don't want to be viewed as weak? But it's because we've got the definition wrong. Vulnerability isn't weakness. You allowing yourself to have some sort of weakness, but not meant, you don't view yourself as worse than anybody else, is because you've accepted yourself for who you are. And if you're around people who won't judge you, and a lot of the times we think people are judging us, but in reality we're judging ourselves and projecting that onto other people. So, like, I could think, oh, what if this person probably thinks this about me, but it's really what I think about me, right? And yeah, like, being around people who don't judge you, real people, true people who've accepted themselves, who know themselves, who aren't fake or artificial, that's another amazing thing to have. And if you can be vulnerable about them, even better, bro. Because I feel we all want to be perceived as this amazing person, and we all want to, it's almost tied in with conformity to a sense, where we all want to be perceived as someone who does this and fits in with the crowd, and, like, I don't know, does all these things that everyone likes to do. And when we don't do that, we kind of feel like we're separate or worse or weaker, because that's how we've been kind of programmed to think, or maybe as a kid, or anything through experiences of life. And a lot of people don't even have this, a lot of people do. So it's just something I've learned. And like, when you learn to stop doing that. Stop putting on this false persona. Learn to be more authentic and know yourself. Know who you are. Know who you're becoming. Learn about yourself. Focus that energy into improvement and not the bad things, or not even bad things, the things you deem as bad. Obviously, if you've had like anger issues and like you just learn to accept yourself and you stop giving that so much importance, you understand where it comes from, you learn about yourself, you reflect, and then you go forward. That's like, if any, I wouldn't even deem it as a bad thing, because think about it, you've learned from that experience. So nothing is really good or bad when you're detached from the outcome, but that's a different topic. We're detached from it anyways. That's a different topic for another day. But yeah, boys, learn to be vulnerable, especially around yourself. Even we actually do this with ourselves. It's kind of, you need to build who you are. You need to reprogram your mind to be this better person, the person who's capable of making the amount of money you make 10k a month for you, 100k a month for you. But at the same time, we kind of, like I was saying, we package all of the like things we're scared of showing the world or even ourselves inside of us, and it may take you 10 years to even just rediscover those things and learn and walk through them yourself emotionally and spiritually. And we can, instead of putting on this shield even to ourselves, because we're so afraid of who we are, we don't want to be that person who has that problem, or who has done this thing, or we don't want to be that person, so we hide it. And this creates loads more issues. This creates loads more emotional problems that you won't even know why you have them in 5 years. You're like, oh, why do I have so much anxiety? Why do I do this? It's because you've done this in the past. And I'm just speaking of, like, I literally thinking of this on the spot. I don't know, I just thought about it while I was praying, and I thought I'd make a YouTube video out of it. And yeah, like, you need to stop putting a shield on yourself and just accept. You may have made a mistake, accept and move on. Like, life is a journey. It's not where you're like freaking, you're meant to enjoy it, right? The whole life is a journey. It's a constant journey of evolution. That's beautiful in itself. Like, you have the capability to be nothing and become something, or feel like you're nothing and make yourself be something. And whether it's financially, mentally, spiritually, wherever you come from, but you have this whole journey ahead of you. So even if you're 16, 25 or 30 or even 40, like, no matter where you are, you still have time to learn about yourself and change. Like, that's the whole point. We're supposed to change. Just don't fear the change, accept it. It's all about acceptance, and tying back into the whole vulnerability thing. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable, because you've got the idea mixed up. Vulnerable isn't weakness. Being viewed as vulnerable, even on social media, being viewed as vulnerable. If I make a mistake, like I posted a post that I made no money one day, and like a lot of people would be so scared to post that because they've got this whole social media image where it's like, this guy makes 10k a month, this guy makes this amount of money a month, this guy makes this, blah blah blah. And if they make zero, people are going to judge them, and they fear that judgment because they don't know themselves, they don't accept themselves, they're not sure in them, they don't trust themselves. And that's something I'm learning, and I've learned to do in some sense, where I do these things where it goes against any limiting beliefs, where it goes against, I've detached from any past limiting beliefs of external validation, external judgment, where it comes to, like, if I do that, it just reaffirms the better identity, right? Like me posting the failures, but it's not really a failure for me, because failure is just a win at the same time, because you're learning from it. Everything is a win if you learn, and you learn from everything if you're willing to. So yeah, I don't know if that makes sense, boys. If anything, I kind of just, there was no like kind of timeline in what I was saying. It just kind of all came out at once. But yeah, if that all makes sense, please let me know. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.